Hey everyone, Zach here from 12 Hike. I finally had the chance to go shoot my new deer rifle, the Savage 110 Engage, and I got it chambered in 6.5 by 284 Norma. First impressions, I've got to tell you guys, I really like this rifle and the cartridge. I'm super new to rifle hunting. I grew up in southern Ohio, we only could use shotguns, so moving out to Colorado, I've got to really adapt. And I'm pretty sure I know there are a lot of people out there just like me. So I want to break down the reasons why I bought the 6.5 by 284 Norma and kind of give you guys an idea of where the cartridge came from. I want to preface all of this by telling everyone that I am in no way, shape, or form a firearms expert. Please do your own research before you select a rifle, and as always, make sure you follow all laws and regulations regarding firearm purchase and local hunting or shooting regulations. The 284 Norma originated as a Wildcat cartridge, and it's based on the 284 Winchester cartridge. If you're not familiar with the term Wildcat, don't feel bad. I've got a link in the description, and it can explain the concept of wildcatting way more thoroughly than I can. To oversimplify it, the Swedish company Norma took the 284 cartridge and reduced the diameter of the cartridge neck. This allowed Norma to use the 6.5mm projectile. The practical applications for taking existing cartridges and modifying them revolve around competition or bench shooting. Individuals are able to make cartridges more efficient at super long ranges and achieve consistent grouping. With all that being said, I'm not a long range shooter. My comfortable range is probably going to be out to 400 yards. So shooting out to 1,000 yards with my gun isn't really practical, but there are some other reasons why I picked this cartridge. My choice of a 6.5mm cartridge is going to make some people cringe. You either love them or you hate them. And I'm not here to argue the merits of the caliber, just my personal experience. The 6.5 projectile has been in use for nearly 130 years, starting with the Swedish Mauser. And after shooting the 284 Norma, I can say I really like this cartridge. The recoil on this rifle is really light compared to some of the other heavy-duty cartridges that I've fired. I've been able to find reloading supplies and factory ammo. Like everyone else, I had to search and pay a little bit more for it, but I did find it. And in all actuality, I never would have heard about this round if it weren't for my neighbor. He's going to be shooting in the video, so you'll see. He's a gun aficionado, and he's highly in tune with big game cartridges. And after shooting my rifle, he likes it so much, he's going to be buying his own Norma very soon. Like I said earlier, the 6.5mm round is touchy for some. This mostly centers around the Creedmoor, and that's a discussion for others to hash out. My focus on the Norma came down to a few things. Firstly, the 6.5mm projectile is more than enough to take down the animals I plan on hunting, and it's not going to break my shoulder while I'm shooting it. The ballistic performance of the Norma is great too. From a 24-inch barrel, the 6.5 by 284 Norma produces working velocities of 3,100 feet per second with 120 grain bullets, and 3,000 feet per second with 129 grain bullets, and 2,900 feet per second with 140 grain bullets. Just for comparison's sake, the 300 Win Mag shoots a 190 grain bullet, and it reaches velocities of 2,950 feet per second. And some of you out there are going to say, with the 300 Win Mag's a bigger cartridge or a bigger projectile. And you're right. But there are other factors to consider. Let's talk about the sectional density. That is the ratio of the weight of the bullet in pounds to the square of the diameter in inches. Some technical jargon, I'm sorry, but that's just the best explanation there is. The higher the sectional density a bullet has, the better the penetration, or the easier the bullet is able to get deep inside the animal. When it comes to putting animals on the ground, the bullet must reach the vitals. The section density of the 6.5mm 140 grain projectile is 0.287, and the 30 caliber 190 grain projectile is .286. They're nearly identical. Just keep in mind, sectional density translates to penetration power. In terms of drop, the Norma holds its own fairly well. At 1,000 yards, the Norma drops approximately 2 feet. And by comparison, the 300 Win Mag drops approximately 2 feet. And on nearly every other metric, the Norma is equal to or better than the 300 Win Mag, from what I've found.
Alright, going hot.
I'm not sure I could be more pleased with my selection of cartridge. It's going to do what I need it to do, and it's going to be very easy and pleasurable to shoot. There are some drawbacks, the first being that the barrel life for this cartridge is not very high. It shoots so fast that barrels tend to wear out around 1,000 shots, but unless you're recreational shooting quite a bit, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Mine's going to be a hunting rifle. Once I get it dialed in, it's only going to come out and shoot a handful of shots a year, so it should last me a long time. I want to talk briefly about the rifle itself. I bought the Savage Engage Hunter 110 XP, and again, I like the rifle quite a bit. It's relatively inexpensive, but there's some good quality to it. The rifle comes equipped with factory-mounted and bore-sighted Bushnell Engage 3x9 40mm scope. Be warned, that's one thing that I plan on changing on my rifle very soon. The scope is good, but there are much better optics out there, and I would like to have it on my rifle. The action of the rifle is smooth, and taking the bolt out for cleaning is very simple. You simply depress the trigger and hit the bolt release button, and you can slide the bolt out with ease. The entire rifle weighs in at around 8 pounds, so it's not going to kill you when you pack it through the woods while you're hunting. And on top of that, you can get this rifle for between $500 and $600. They've got a number of cartridges you can choose from, and in my eyes, that makes it the perfect choice for a hunter of any level. Obviously, this was all at the range. I was on a bench, stable setting, so it takes out some of the variables of my own inadequacies when it comes to hunting with a rifle. But right out of the box with a capable hand, I'm pretty confident this gun will shoot sub 1 inch groups. You can see the targets at the end just from the little bit of time that I spent with it. Obviously my groups got much tighter, and Brian shot one group with it that you could cover with a quarter. So this rifle right out of the box is great. The cartridge is great, and I can't recommend it anymore. I think it'd be a great rifle for anybody.
I think it was just in there sideways a little bit.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. So if you have any comments, please leave them. But we're always interested in learning more about new cartridges and more about hunting in general, just because we like to share it with our audience. Some of you may not know we do a weekly podcast. It's called the 12 Hike Podcast. So be sure to check it out. It's on Apple, Spotify, all the major distributors. We've also got an Instagram page and a Facebook page, so please hop over and follow us on those. And if you'd like to see us review or talk about any other rifles, let us know. I'm always up for reviewing gear, and we've got some cool videos coming up, some cat fishing, some creek fishing. And please follow Brian's YouTube page. He's the gentleman that was shooting with me in this video. His page is Brian in the Wild, Colorado. He does a lot of hunting reviews. He does a lot of in-depth gear reviews, such as he's got a new 7mm that he's turning into a budget precision rifle. A lot of shooting stuff. And then me and him are going to be ice fishing this winter. So I can't wait for all that stuff to happen.